Hey, this is Will, the Board Game Minute. I'm going to do a quick solo playthrough of Cascadia. Beautiful game designed by Randy Flynn and illustrated by Beth Sobel. Published by AG and designed by Flat Out Games. Flat Out Games has really been on a roll lately with some pretty big hits like Calico. Verdant is now a Kickstarter. And then we have Point Salad, which in the board game terms is a bit meta, but we'll get to that in our time. So why don't you come down the table and let's see how well I can do. All right, so in Cascadia, everybody starts with one of these triple tiles, and we will be drafting a combination of tiles as well as these beautiful brightly colored animal chips. They each have separate pictures on them, and we'll be placing them on our board with the goal of trying to achieve the largest of each colored shape, as well as meeting the scoring requirements shown on the cards for each of the animals. I do have the Kickstarter version, if you're wondering, so there's a couple extra cards and some other things, but I would still suggest picking this up at retail. The differences are really not that much. It does come also with a beautiful bag. I am, however, not playing with the family variant or the intermediate variant. These are great, however, if you want to introduce people to the game for the first time, or you wanted a much simpler experience. But I'm going to go ahead and set up real quick here. We've got 43 tiles, the same as in a two-player. And I've got my nature point tokens. And let's go ahead and randomly select, an animal card from each of the types. And leave the last birds. And let's see what we're dealing with. All right, so we have bears score in pairs with no bears next to them. So we want bears together. Right, mama bear, papa bear, or maybe a mama bear and a cub. Next, let's take a look at foxes. Foxes score for each fox number of unique adjacent animal types. Okay, so foxes want to be around a variety of stuff. That could prove difficult, but it might be worth some kind of bonus points if I can squeeze them in places that are oddly shaped. Okay, now we have elk. The elk scores for each group of elk in a shape. Okay, so just stick them together, any amount of elk, but it goes all the way up to 8 plus elk for 28 points. That, if I can get a lot of elk, that is a ton of points. All right, now let's do the Chinook salmon. Salmons are usually scored in runs here. Let's see, for scores for each run of 3, 4, or 5 salmon. Runs may not be adjacent to each other. Okay, so you see how runs here cannot fold back on themselves. They have to be in a distinct line, but possibly a curved line. So looks like the goal here is to get a group of at least 5. Let's see if we can do that. And the last is the birds. Birds never seem to like to be next to each other. The red-tailed hawk scores for a total number of unoccupied spaces, no habitat tile, adjacent to all hawks. Oh, so they want empty spaces. That could be challenging. But it's total for all of them. That was especially challenging because if I am drafting 1-to-1, one tile and 1 token, I'm going to stay even at 3 empties in total for my entire game, which usually is the goal because that will maximize getting as many things done as possible. But the hawk actually wants unoccupied spaces, so I may have to actually just choose to discard things if they don't fit. So let's see, there's a lot of potential points there. We'll see what happens. All right, so continue to set up. We're going to place 4 tiles here, flip them over, and then we're going to randomly draw from the bag. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how the solo player works here is whatever you take, you are going to remove the furthest right two from the game, and that is essentially what the AI is doing. And then my turn. I'm going to pick a pair, and then bring them to my board and then place them. So, for example, if I took this pair, I could stick them literally anywhere as long as they're not on top of something else or disconnected. However, I do want to group like colors, so getting these together would be ideal. And then I take the animal and I place it on a matching animal, covering it up, meaning I cannot place any more animals on that hex. You notice there is solid color hexes that have what these little pinecone symbols. I could grab a pinecone if I cover that. Pinecones are worth a point at the end of the game, but I can use them for a few different things. I can spend one to either wipe the animal row and then draw new animals, or I can spend them to draft a disconnect. So I could take a different tile from an animal token. And then the mismatched, if I did that, then on the AI's turn, things would shift down. Let's formulate a strategy. Well, it's just fine because I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't think there's anything I can put out right away that will connect more than one land type. So, well, let's just hedge my bets and go for a variety of things. Placing that here, maybe I can get to connect my mountains later. And grabbing a pinecone early is probably a good thing because that could be more flexible later on, allow me to swap things out. Let's remove these from the game, slide down, draw 2 new tiles. Oh, double bear. Let's hope I can get some bear tokens for that. Oh, and nothing matches. That is unfortunate. Well, I can certainly at least take a first bear. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe bears is my key to winning here. Let's take first bear. These could double as elk potentially if I don't get bears. And we'll cover that in. Solo AI removes those. Let's see what is next. Well, I'm drawing all the singles now. That is odd. Oh boy, I don't necessarily want to let all these nice bear spots go. So in terms of area scoring, you would score at the end of the game 1 point for each area in the largest group that you have. But then you would compare with other players, and you would score bonus points based on if you had more than anyone else. I believe it is 4 points for most and 2 points for second place. I'll look into that for the end. But when you're playing against the solo, the AI, which just removes tiles, you now have to have at least 7 in that shape in order to qualify for the point bonus. Otherwise, you don't get it. So it is a little bit of a stiffer challenge to get that far. You know, I don't want to let that bear up, but I don't want those birds either. You know, I know it's early, but I'm going to spend my pinecone already because I really want this bear token. And I don't necessarily want one of these. You know what? Maybe I won't. You know, because I don't want more than 2 bears next to each other. It's only 2. So I will grab this matching one because it does fit nice. I might be able to put some salmon on there and cover that up. Now I've already gotten 1 bear. I just got to remember 1 bear set for 4 points. I just got to remember not to cover it up or put too many bears close to it. Move over. 2 more tiles. And 1, 2 animals. More bears, more birds. I don't think I'm not sure if I want to go for birds. It seems difficult having to leave out whole sections. Well, you know what? Maybe this is the time for my pinecone. All right, so I'm going to grab the bear section. I'm going to put it further down here this time and hope that it will not be too close to those existing bears. Cover that over for another pinecone. I could still fit a bear in here if one shows up, and that would still qualify. So now everything would shift down. The AI would move these and moves down. 2. Oh, the birds. Birds are killing me here. That is just unfortunate. Oh, you know what? Since there are 3 of a kind, I can choose to throw those back. If there's 3 or 4 of a kind, a player, sorry, if there's 3 of a kind, you can choose to throw them back and then draw new ones. If there's 4 of a kind, you must throw them back and draw a new set. So that is looking a little better. Still not ideal, but at least it gives me something more to work with. So I think maybe I will go ahead and take these. I was hoping for a salmon, but maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. And connect these guys for my mountains. Now I've got a couple more mountains in here. Maybe my salmon will run through the middle. If I'm lucky, we'll see what happens. 1, 2. Oh my gosh, all the singles. I have played this a few times and I've shuffled well in between, but they are strangely coming up all at once. Okay, let's grab. I guess we'll go for our bear. Let's get that second bear going. And more mountains. Why not? Okay, you know what? Let's mix these up a little bit more. Up 2 new ones. Okay, still have not seen any elk yet. I am inundated with bears. There's just too many bears. Is this a time for eagles to shine? Probably not. You know what? I don't think I can place anything. I have nowhere to place a fox. I don't want to place a bear anywhere. I have nowhere to place a bird. I'm kind of desperate right now. I'm going to spend a pinecone to wipe all those. Here, throw them in. It's not real good. And bear, fox, birds. Okay, slightly different. At least I can still grab these and actually place something. Or do I want to place? Maybe I do want to leave it blank. Is that my strategy? Do I leave it blank so I can put a bird in there somewhere? No, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how that card works, but I think leaving them blank is a cheat. maybe not. I'm sure they've calculated the points. All right, more bears, more birds. Well, this just isn't working for me. So, you know what? I am going to grab this, and sadly, I'm just going to discard that bear. That is unfortunate. I believe he goes back in the bag. He's get removed. All right, there's an elk. Finally, a little more elk. Here we go. I could definitely use some elk. Yep, I think I'm going to go for these guys. Expand this area. Maybe get a little bit of a salmon run happening with a bird in there somewhere. Place an elk there. Got pine cone and remove. Not seeing many salmon this game. That is unfortunate. Do I go for birds now? You know, now that I've been having a hard time placing, birds are looking better and better. Didn't think I would say that, but they kind of are. You know, maybe I will. Let's connect some of these. Expands my water, expands my swamplands, and get a token. Fortunately, my foxes are not doing a whole lot right now, right? They're worth 1 for each different animal around them. So this guy's only worth 2 for the fox and the bear. Not ideal, but maybe I can build around them later. All right, we're getting some more elk. It's definitely what we want. I need a place to put them. Well, 2 elk is 4 points. Sure, squeeze that elk in here. Place them down. I do really love the tiling in this. The overlapping scoring possibilities with both trying to fit the lands together, trying to fit the animals in the right patterns, trying to match them on the actual tiles because you can't just place them anywhere. There's quite a lot to do here, and it is really fun. So now I think we may have to go for birds. I do want to set up a place for my elk to scamper off to later, but I could do this. Not quite my same forest combo, but let's start there. And just in case my salmon run ever gets going, at least the bird is next to 2 empty tiles. So that's something. Oh, we're getting back to these now. Okay. We have still no elk. Don't want the bears. I do want the fish though. And that allows me to extend my mountains. I might be able to get elk in there later to connect them. But do I want to now put fish next to that bird? Right, the bird was totally happy being alone on its mountain peak. Now it's not. So I'm gonna try putting the fish over here and see what happens. Maybe leaving those empty tiles was key all along. The birds knew something I didn't. Okay, we could go for a 3rd bear pairing. That would bring us up to 19 points. That could be good. Expand our water at the same time. Or I could go for that elk. Getting more elk. Definitely the larger the run, the better. But bringing up to 3 is only 3 points. Jumping from 11 to 19. That is tasty. You want, but the AI is going to deal with the further ones first. I got time. I'm going to take these ones first. Add in that elk run for a point. And let's connect the. Oh no, I can't do that. I'll lose my connection. Let's put it over here and hope I can get those things sorted later. Strange shape, but you know what? Let's do it. Oh, here's the fish. Right when I need them, I don't have them. Escape, plan ahead. Let's put that fish in here and throw that bear over in the corner. So we're working on the 3rd bear now and our fish game. We are, however, getting pretty close to the end of the stack of tiles. I don't know how much longer I will be able to keep this going. All right, we have more fish. Yep, sure. Let's add more fish. 2 brings us up to nothing. We need at least 1 more. This tile is going to be more important than I thought. All right, let's add that to our swamp connections. If I can get our fish up there, we'll be in good shape. Another elk and a bird. Yeah, I do need a fish. I need to score something at least for my fish. So that's 3 for 10 points. And this can add into my mountains and then connect my elk later. So far so good. Maybe I'll get lucky and grab a bear later. I'm getting pretty close to the end though. Oh, there's a bear I need and more elk. I do want to grab that elk. And I need a spot for the bear to go. Maybe a spot for salmon. I don't think I have enough turns. Let's grab these. I can let the bird go. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I get 1 more water, 1, 2, 3, 6, I can score water with a bonus. So it's going to be worth spending the coin to take the opposite 2 here. And do I risk not being able to get water? Put that there, so I can possibly fit that bear in there, and hopefully 1 more water tile will come up, so I can connect my water collection. Okay, these 2 group up and then get removed. Slide down. Oh, no water yet. No water yet. I really need that bear though. That bear, I can't let it pass up. That's my next pair. But this is good. This is going to connect a bunch of these wetlands. Add a bear here, and just hope for the best of that water tile. And this is unfortunate. I don't have any water. I can, however, grab a fish. Fish is what I need. I could extend my force. 1, 2, 3, 4. The plains, unfortunately, it doesn't go anywhere from me. That's not ideal. But oh, you want the force? Actually works really well because look at this. I can add to my forest, and it's a blank for my birds. That brings my birds up to 3, which is 2 points. That is not great, but it's something. It's something, and I get my 4th fish. All right, so that goes. We can't refill, and the game is over. I should have 20 tiles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Excellent. It is time to score. We are going to be scoring using this handy scoring pad. They do include quite a lot of sheets, and they're double-sided, which is very nice. And I was wrong earlier. I apologize. You actually need to get at least 7 in each location type to score the 2-point bonus for that location. So we are going to take a look and see how well I do. All right, bears. I managed to get 3 pairings of bears, all separate from each other. That is worth 19 points. Off to a good start. Elk, I have a collection of 4. That is 10 points. Salmon, I've got 4 in a run. That is worth 12 points. The birds, I'm still not convinced they were a great way to go, but I got 3 empties, and that is worth just 2 points. Yeah, not what I was hoping. The fox are going to score individually based on how many different animals they are next to. So this guy is going to get 2 points for those. He is also only going to get 2 points because he's only around 2 different types of animals. So that's 4 points. Same for this guy. So we're up to 6. And then he's got a little more variety. So we're at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points for foxes. That's a little better than I thought we would get. And so for this area total, we have, let's see here, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 73. No, not 70. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 53. That 2 is not 20. Okay, and then on to the mountains. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mountains. Yes, that qualifies me for the 2-point bonus. Then we have forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is my largest group. No bonus. Plains, we've got 1. Didn't do so well there. Wetlands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No bonus. And water, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is painful. So close, but no bonus. And then pine cones is an additional 2. All right, so we've got 12, 17, 18, 23, 29 here. And then we've got 4 and 8. All right, final score 84. Not too bad. Let's see what the book has to say. There is a little chart near the back that tells me how well I did. If I can find it. All right, 84 is very good. Okay, it goes all the way up to 110, so I obviously didn't score as well as I could have, but I'll take that as a win. I mean, look at this beautiful landscape full of animals and nice little patterns. I love it. So Cascadia is such a beautiful game. The vibrant colors, the nice wooden chips, the tiles, the little landscapes they put together just work so well. And it is such a relaxed feel, even with the AI just automatically pulling off the outer row or the outer pairing. It's so simple to run. I know it's not quite a true AI. It's not competing directly against me, but I'm just looking for, in the case of this game, just a simple puzzle that's got some layers and some variability. There's definitely enough cards for variety that I'm not going to get tired anytime soon. We've got, instead of the birds wanting empty spaces around them, you could have the birds in more of a direct line from each other, or different distances, or maybe birds don't want to be next to any other birds. And you get points based on how many birds do that. You've got such a variety to play with that I don't think you're going to get tired or bored of it anytime soon. It's also such an easy play. It's a short play. It really fits in that niche of something you can pull out and play with just about anybody. Someone who's a board game enthusiast and is used to playing much more complicated, longer games would still enjoy this. You can play it, with children and they would enjoy it. Even people who are not used to playing board games as regularly, would probably enjoy it as well. It's a fairly inexpensive price point, and it's just beautiful. Even though it doesn't really bring the genre to anything brand new, we've seen drafting before, even groups of drafting. We've seen connecting like pieces together and shapes and colors together for groupings. We've seen combining things, you've got elements of King Domino and Carcassonne and a whole bunch of other tile drafting games and tile placing games. But it just comes together in such a fluid package that is just a joy to play. You know, the everything from the components are really nice to the look and the feel, the easy rules overhead. You know, I could teach this game in just a few minutes. You know, just watching the beginning of this video, you know how to play. That's essentially it. You know, there's just like, you know, the couple of the edge cases with the pine cones, or the having to remove animal tiles if they're all the same, or three of them the same. But other than that, like, that's basically it. It's just so simple, but it works so well. And like I discussed in my tiling video that you can watch. Also, my channel, you have a sense of accomplishment at the end. Everyone has built their own separate landscape, and I look down and I see, you know, this, you know, beautiful little collection. You've got mountains and with bears living in them. You've got bears fishing for salmon along the river. You've got foxes kind of scavenging what the other animals have left behind. You have birds alone up on their high peaks. You know, maybe I'm reading a little bit too much theme into this. You know, it's but I enjoy some theme in my games. I like it when mechanics do connect at least a little bit with how the game works. Not only to kind of make the teaching of the game a little bit easier, but it can help you get into the game more. And I can look down here, and being an avid camper and explorer of the outdoors, you know, I do a lot of camping and hiking with scout groups with my own family. You know, having something that reminds me of the outdoors is beautiful. So this is definitely a highly recommended game. I do encourage people to play it or try it. I believe you can play it online if their Kickstarter demo is still running. I will add a link to the description so you can give it a try for yourself before you buy. So I do highly recommend this game. It is an easy recommend to just about anybody, whether it be a person who's looking to start a game collection, or something just to play occasionally on their own or with their friends. This is a very easy go-to recommendation. So that's it for me. Please like and subscribe. It'll help me grow my channel. And go out and play more games, whether it be alone or with friends.